Well, there is a Hindi language Indian film opening this weekend that's unlike any other out there. It's called Kill. And instead of Bollywood choreographed dances, it's 1 hour and 45 minutes of choreographed combat on a train.
Welcome. Please prepare for departure. We hope you have a safe, pleasant, and delightful journey ahead. Thank you.
Metro Morning film columnist Jason Gorber is here with his review. Tell us a little bit more about the synopsis for Kill.
Kill is remarkable. It won the People's Choice Award, Midnight Madness Award last year at TIFF. It's finally getting released, and it absolutely should be seen. It is a film unique in some ways in the history of Indian cinema, which is obviously one of the great cinemas of the world, that is leaning into a bunch of stuff that it usually avoids, which is overt violence. And I know this puts off a lot of people. They're thinking, why do I need to see this, blah, blah, blah. Because violence is being used in a choreographed and a story way in the same way dance would be, in the same way romance would be. In other words, action as genre, not simply as gratuitous. And the people that are put together, many of them have real dance backgrounds more than they have action backgrounds. But the closest I can think to equate with people who may be more familiar is something like John Wick. And if you've seen the John Wick movies, you know, yes, you could describe them as action movies, and there's some incredible stunt work there, et cetera. But there's obviously much more going on. There's much more emotional resonance, et cetera, et cetera. So to have something where for the last decades, Indian films have sort of danced around, as it were, in all the way that is intended, this kind of film, this is one that leans in very much. And one cinema, we talked about John Wick, one cinema borrows heavily is Korean cinema, South Korean cinema. You have an action coordinator from South Korea, et cetera. So if you've seen Snowpiercer, if you've seen Parasite, you have this notion of this sort of cross-national way of using these action movies to tell really interesting social dramas, but also with a bunch of people getting punched in the face.
With a bunch of people getting punched in the face. A creative take on combat, for sure. What inspired this film,
Absolutely.
Jason?
I mean, I think it's very much. I mean, there was a big film that came out. It actually premiered also at Midnight Mass, The Raid, which was an Indonesian film. It brought Silat, the Indonesian martial art, to the fore. And then there was also Ong Bak, the Muay Thai warrior, which brought Muay Thai, the Thai version of combat. And then again, the Korean films, things, Bong Joon-ho and all these other filmmakers that were taking the spirit of the Hong Kong Kung Fu films at the time, which really there was no story and it was just a bunch of amazing, the Bruce Lee, the Sammo Hungs, the Jackie Chans. The stories were secondary to what was taking place there. It really was spectacles, almost silent films. These are films that borrow very much from that realm, that world, but do so in a way that they also incorporate narrative. And in this case, the story is about a man trying to save a person that he's romantically sort of attracted to, or they have a connection, but she's been assigned a marriage by her parents. And so it's like one of these traditional, it could absolutely be a Bollywood film, another arranged marriage Bollywood film. But in this case, the arranged marriage results in a bunch of people murdering each other on a train. So it takes the heightened emotions of a musical or of a dance movie and puts it into a very violent but very attractively shot action film.
Jason, is this a one-off or an emerging genre, do you think?
I think because of the success of films like this, you are going to see, look, this is a subcontinent with 1.4 billion people. You are going to see lots of people echoing this type of film, but I genuinely think this is a rare breed because it's not only one of the first of its kind to actually lean into this, it's exceptionally well done. And so, yes, I think there will be sad imitations of it, but I generally think that maybe it opens the door a little bit. And we've seen tremendous shift. There's a whole, we could speak for hours and hours and hours about changes of Indian culture and Indian taste. in India, but also how, of course, the many people from the diaspora, the incredible South Asian community here in Toronto, that I hope come out and support this film. Again, it is not, there's nothing, there are elements that are very much within the idiom, and we would sort of lean towards the stereotypical, shall we say, but there's very much echoes of world cinema here, which I think is very exciting. It is absolutely meant and designed for a local audience. And by being designed for a local audience, it plays universally. There's nothing pandering. It's not either softening or going for an audience outside of its regular idiom. It is meant to play to the people with whom these films are meant to connect, which are Indians, but also people around the world. And this is what makes it truly exceptional for me.
I wish people could see the video of Jason right now, because you're so animated and so excited about this film. And I've talked to you about a lot of movies over the years. Jason, we have I got 30 seconds here. You're speaking to us from Germany today. Tell us about your adventures there.
I'm at the Munich Film Festival. It's a real pleasure to be here. I'm part of the Press jury, which is a critics jury. But this is a big deal because they're celebrating Canadian film here. I did a panel on Rumors, the Guy Madden and Evan Johnson, Galen Johnson film. But there's a dozen films that are playing here because some of the great films are co-productions now. They're Canadian that go to Europe, and it's this cooperation that I'm here to help celebrate. And just very briefly, I know we got to go, but a shout out to the review. I know there's all kinds of stuff going on with the cinema. Guillermo del Toro has brought into the conversation. We have a cinema that's in need of some support for those in Toronto. So I definitely want to give a shout out to that, but also shout out to the people that brought me here to Germany. Thanks to them. And just it's really amazing to be running into incredible filmmakers here, some of whom have appeared on Metro Morning, that are here to showcase their films to European audiences and have been embraced wholesomely here. It's fantastic.
Amazing. So good to hear Toronto's represented out there. Jason, we'll talk to you soon. Jason Garber is Metro Morning's film columnist and editor-in-chief of That Shelf.
That Shelf.